All right, so let's talk about a rule that is a little different, but is a rule that's not really that unheard of in kayak fishing, and that is using two rods. And I believe that KBF actually used to allow you to use two rods within reason. And let's talk about why, Drew.
Yeah, so we are allowing two rods at one time in the Kayak Adventure Series, and there are multiple situations where you may have two rods in use at once. I can think of the first one being, have you ever had that big smallmouth or shoal bass that's following the one that you have on the line, and you're like, I wish that one would have bit. A lot of times you can throw another rod out and just kind of dangle both of them and just kind of play and catch the other fish. And we want to make every rule possible in every way possible for you to catch more and bigger fish and just have more fun. Nothing is more fun and more challenging than that situation. I love it. I know so many people do. MLF even allows a second rod, I think once per period or whatever in their events as well for that reason, because it's fun to watch and it's legal. Okay. If it's illegal, like a state of Minnesota, that rule will not apply, obviously, to the KAS. But if it is legal, we want you guys to be able to do that. Another situation would be trolling, which we also allow, which is another video you guys can watch. But two rods at a time for trolling just makes more sense than one. So, Jake, I think you had a comment earlier about this too.
Yeah, so this is actually something that I do multiple times a year. If you are throwing into a spot that you know has one and you get hung up, the last thing you want to do is take your kayak or canoe into this spot and blow it up. So a lot of times when I get hung up in that scenario, I'll throw a second lure in there. In fact, the last time I went fun fishing, I did the very same thing. So like it's quite common for me to use two rods, but I'm not using it in like a nefarious way. It's just like a technically by definition, if you throw it out there and you get snagged, that rod's still in the water. So you actually have to get that second rod if you want to have a second chance at
Right.
it.
Completely
So
out of the water. Yeah, exactly. I do that with the top water miss. Sometimes I just, with that straight braided line, I just pull my bait back where my top water bait flies behind me like a fly rod. I throw the other one in there. Well, technically, you are breaking the rule of two rods because you got a bait behind you still in the water. So this just helps alleviate all those question marks and allows two rods and hopefully twice as much fun.